In the upper right, in the purple. He took down Keen 2-0 to get here. It's Reynor. In the bottom left, in the blue, folks, for the Shopify Rebellion is PBT. It's Dynamite. It's Byun. Or as the children say, Dinamite. Actually, I don't think anyone says that. But I choose to believe that I know something that other people do not, even though that is very much not true. But I will continue to live in this fantasy world as long as I can. Although fantasy is also not playing in this game. So, really, I got nothing. Nothing to go for. It seems like players in general, I don't know whether this is just a meta shift. When I talked to Byun in TSL, he talked about how there was this meta shift. And Protoss players were getting more aggressive, so Terrans had to react to it a little bit. I don't know if this is what they've come up with. This will just consistent double gas opening. Delay the command center. Go and get your tech a little bit earlier. Put pressure on the Protoss player even before they want to put pressure on. Now, we did not see it work for Keen. In fact, even in a game where Keen got a lot of damage, he got 11 probes, the damage that should have been game-ending, Reynor was able to come back. He killed 15, 16, 17 STVs, did not delay stem, although it felt like he might have been able to. Killed off a lot of his opponent's army and just really was oppressive. Because by going for this quick, quick factory, quick starport, you actually delay stem a little bit because you're spending so much gas on things that are not stem. Things that are, well, the starport and widow mines and medevacs and Viking or ravens and all of these things and cyclones, all these things that cost gas. So you delay your stim just a little bit compared to, say, your 3-1-1. I'm going to power through. It's going to be great. And that did buy Reynor just a little, or it buys Protoss in general just a little bit more time to be active with Blink Stalkers, to enforce your will on the map just a little bit more. As, hey, folks, to the surprise of no one, at least to the surprise of not me, is, oh, probe gets away. Well done there. But Reynor still losing one worker. See if he loses any more. It looks like for the moment, the Adept is going to force this Reaper out. He's going to say, okay, well, back the hell on up. Don't really want to do that one. Adept's a little bit too spooky, but certainly it does not surprise me to see Reynor going for a Stargate opener once again. Tropical Sacrifice, of course, plenty of dead airspace, but also Oracle End of Link is just really good right now, or just seems to be extremely good right now. So Reapers in the main base, they will go, but there are Adepts on both sides, and Reynor, yeah, there we go. He does get one. Looked like he'd kind of whiffed it for a second, but he gets the shot down at the end of the day. Now it's only a single Reaper, and it will be a Phoenix opener from Reynor in this game. So we see the same opening, right? You go Cyber, you get Gas, but it is, of course, Phoenix, not an Oracle, which means it will not be a quick Twilight coming out of the young Italian. Instead, it's going to be Phoenix. I mean, there's going to be a Twilight, sure, but it's not going to be in a Blink. Instead, it's most likely going to be in a charge. I don't think we're going to see Reynor go Turtle, Blink, or Phoenix Colossus opening. That just does not strike me as something he wants to do. I mean, yeah, actually against Byun, that may be rather powerful. And oh, okay, no, will be a Robo coming out behind this. So I guess it feels like Reynor is playing to his opponent right now. Because Byun, he loves his early aggression, sure, and Colossus, if you get to it, can shut that down pretty hard. And also, he is a player, although he's changed things around a little bit. In the last 2 weeks, I've talked a lot about how Byun just does not like to build Vikings, but he's stopped that. He's building Vikings much more consistently, as another probe will go down. But he's building Vikings much more consistently. He's putting himself in positions that he can actually deal with these heavy Colossus styles that have. We've started to see Protoss do more and more against him. It feels like almost by default that we see Protoss going, ooh, good lock-ons there, Widow Mine! Good split there from Reynor, but even still, he's going to lose a Phoenix. Second one getting very low. We've seen almost by default Protoss players going into, I am going to just go and I'm going to build 4 Colossus, right? Because if you're not going to build Vikings, I'm going to build 4 Colossus. It's going to be great. But this push from Byun right now, he does not have stim. It's almost a kitchen sink build because he says, look, Reynor, I don't think you have enough on the ground here right now. So for now, the first Immortal will pop out, and that will, of course, buy... that will force Byun back. It'll buy Reynor the time he needs. But Byun, his third base is about 2/3 the way done, 3/4 the way done. Reynor, in contrast to that previous series where we saw him get aggressive, just build leads by being aggressive, in this game, Reynor's been trying to play defensive, play into a macro game, and it means his third base is going to be delayed. Phoenix Colossus takes a delayed third. But because Byun is very... I'm going to talk about this. Byun's stim is very late. Tech Lab's only just now finishing on the barracks. His third base was much quicker, so there's not going to be a lot of pressure that Byun can put on all that quickly. But Byun will consider the fact that, well, Reynor has had to be defensive. Reynor's not been allowed to really outgrow. Reynor taking that third base at a more standard timing. No, more standard timing for an average Protoss build, not a more standard timing for a Phoenix Colossus build. That push from Byun would have killed him, or would have killed the third at the very least, put him behind. So good job on Reynor identifying that one. But even still, Byun and Reynor equal on workers, despite Byun getting no economic damage. Well, no explicit economic damage. The Colossus are now starting to come out. First Colossus, about 2/3 of the way dead, 3/4 of the way done. Extended thermal lance as well. And we're going to have to see a forge go down eventually. Normally, you drop double forge in this style after the first level of Terran aggression. But because Byun is not really being all that aggressive, again, he took a quick third base. Reynor's going to have to identify that, drop double forge faster, or single forge. But normally we see double forge on this one just to catch up on things. We do, okay, but right now, it's going to be single forge, Twilight as well. It's going to be charged into Blink most likely, because for right now, the Phoenix take the role of the Stalkers. They provide good anti-air, they provide a little bit more mobility on the map. But it is key to point out here that Reynor has gotten no damage. There's been not a lot of trading. 3 probes have gone down, and a Phoenix versus 2 Reapers and a Hellion. But the key thing, of course, is the fact that, well, the Phoenix have got no economic damage done, which is annoying, sure, but I mean, the goal of the Phoenix really is to allow you to fight, take these really dominant fights where your opponent just cannot run away. But Byun's going to look to split this time. Right, his 1-1 is just about done. Concussive shells on the way, and they're going to finish up right around the same time that Byun shows up on the other side of the map. This is before +1 is done for Byun, or for Reynor. This is before charge is done for Reynor. So Reynor, the full might of the Protoss army is not going to be ready for this push. Colossus, again, great defensively, and he has 2 of them. He does not have 3. But the Raven is going to have full energy, and we don't see Reynor getting extremely active on the map with these Phoenix. There's not really going to be able to target down the Raven ahead of the fight. So the question really is, from what angle and when does Byun pull the trigger? Now Byun scans out, says, okay, I kind of like this idea. Stems up into the choke, but no. The 3 Colossus are there with the extended thermal lance. That is a scary thing indeed. The Adept will go down, but again, that's just scouting there for Reynor. He wants to make sure he knows where his opponent is at all times. And also importantly, he wants to see what the status of his opponent's army is. Does it have 1-1? Does it have... Really doesn't have... What's its upgrade status? So Reynor on Tropical Sacrifice. Of course, this is a platform map. It is a map that is rather easy to turtle out. He's got his 4th base on the way, but again, it's behind Byun's. Just a little bit this time, but still it's behind Byun's. The economy is not really... He's not running away with the economy like we saw in those previous games. This Pylon will get canceled, but Phoenix, they take a little damage. But again, good map vision. They know where Byun's army is. And this army that Reynor is building is... Well, normally I would say, okay, this is an army that Reynor... He gets up to 175 supply. Reynor or Byun will struggle. And from one perspective, he will, right? It's 3 Colossus versus 2 Vikings. But Byun, he's got double upgrades. He has plentiful ghost count. And Byun is one of these players that really... he doesn't like to build Vikings. I mean, he's started to change that a little bit. But he wins these games against Mass Colossus styles with just pure bio. Because his fights are so good and his ability to split the map and multi-prong are so good. But here comes the fight just a little bit. We're going to see a little bit of stack defense will get disabled here. But a shield battery does complete the Vikings, or the Phoenix run forward. Viking is dead. There we go. Now, of course, with the Ghost on the field, the Phoenix are not going to be as effective as they would otherwise be. Byun has very conscientiously skipped the stage of the game, where the Phoenix, they just lift up all the Marauders, say, or they lift up the tanks if that was what it was, and cause problems. But Reynor does, he has 1 High Templar on this spot, right? He's got 1 High Templar in the barrel. He's looking to feedback that Raven, just really make it impossible he wants to make sure his Colossus can take the fight properly. But of course, Reynor is moving away from Colossus Tech now. He does have disruptors on the way behind. This one is Byun got a push He's got a multi-prong on the third base position. Reynor's just going to lose this. He does not have his army in position. So, oh, shield battery overcharge. No, it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, looks like this drop is actually not really going to be dealt with all that well. On the other side of the map, the Colossus are going to be disabled. Reynor was setting himself up really well, but we're seeing Byun is just on a different level here. Now, the Colossus, their disables are over, but there's just nothing to defend them anymore. Supply of Reynor just dropping precipitously here. So many probes are going to go down. Reynor's lost a base. Reynor's lost 11 probes. He's lost 3 Colossus. He's lost a ton of disruptors here as well. And the army of Byun is still fighting. Yes, the Raven will go down, but Byun got everything he possibly want out of that one. That being said, actually, Reynor's still on 79 workers. He's still building double disruptor at a time. He still has a plentiful gateway count. He's still at 8. Well, it's only 8 gates, actually. Maybe wants a little more at this stage. His Phoenix are still alive. This could have been worse. It could have been better, certainly, but it could have been worse. Reynor will be able to reestablish that 4th base. And again, Byun has been mining a little bit more. I mean, we see mining a lot more as that 3rd base did go down, but Reynor, give him a little time. He should be able to resupply himself. And Byun is famous, by the way, for overcommitting to disruptors. He says, I can do that, limit test, it's great. And then he loses a 1/3 of his army. So that's kind of what Reynor's going to be looking for right now. He's down 30 supply. He's down 2 upgrades. Life is not good, but hey, Disruptor Shot 1 is going to be okay. He wants more, though. EMPs, though, blanket all of the static defenses. Another Disruptor Shot goes forward. Byun is just splitting so beautifully. He's on his own server, and he's showing us just what he's going to be able to do with it. Another shot. It hits a little, sure, but it's not the dead center, the death shot that Reynor has been looking for. That one, oh, Byun microing backward just a little bit. As again, there's a little bit of a run by on the north side as well. The Phoenix run in, looking to lift pretty much everything that they can. Disruptor gets a little bit more, but gets some Zealots as well. That being said, Ghost will go down to the Phoenix, so that's nice. But 9 probes have died. I mean, army supply is getting a little closer, though. I mean, it's still terrible. It's still a horrendous. It's still a horrendous situation for me. It really is. We can just go back to the fact that the one moment where Byun broke this game apart. He killed the 4th base. He killed all the Colossus. It really was just not, and the trade was not good enough. But Zealots, now they're going to find their way in once again. Shield battery overcharge pop, but there's no pylon to power it. And Byun, though, he says, I'm going to take this fight. I'm not going to get the base just yet. Instead, he taps it down as he runs away. And once again, it is a 3-base Protoss versus what is now soon to be, or already is, a 5-base Terran. So it really does feel like the shoe's on the other foot. Last series, we saw Keen in Reynor's position and Reynor in Keen's position, or Reynor in Byun's position. Right, where Reynor was just owning the map, and sure, Keen would do something. Disruptor shot, though. Byun not quite paying attention there, but the second shot really should not get nearly as much. Even still, that was a fantastic defense there from Reynor. Really the best he could possibly get. The drop in the main base is, oh, Phoenix, that's a little bit spooky. So Phoenix are going to be able to knock these medevacs down. Archon doing a decent job. Phoenix left the rest of it. So that drop is dealt with, but on the bottom side, Widow Mines look like they got some pretty good shots here. Disruptors, they're just going to get the Widow Mines that have already gone off. And again, it's a 40 army supply lead. It's 2-1. At least Reynor's been able to reestablish some of his economy, but now the Phoenix are starting to go down. The lifts, though, they're doing a decent job. We just don't have enough splash here. Not really. But that being said, the Marauders are starting to fall. Phoenix knocking down the medevacs as well as the Zealots run forward. Zealots actually getting some really good contact on this army. Now it's only a 30 army supply lead instead of a 40. It's not good, and it will continue to be double plus ungood for a while. But Reynor's hanging in there. And the resources loss count is pretty equivalent, actually, crazily enough. Reynor rotates over. I can't believe these Phoenix are still alive. I can't believe they're finding as much value as they are, considering Ghosts are still active on the field. But now Byun, tries to stem on top of these Colossus. They're sitting back just a little bit. Phoenix now starting to lose their lives a little bit more. Is now, oh, there we go. EMPs on top of the Colossus. They got a micro backwards. One Colossus is dead. Again, this base, I think, is just going to go down. I don't know how much the Reynor's going to be able to defend. There we go. 4th base down once again. Byun channeling his Bolt. Channeling his Maru, the Nexus sniper, indeed. And this feels like this is finally the straw that has broken Reynor's back. Reynor's been able to kind of maintain his economy, kind of maintain his supply, his tech a little bit, but it's 1 Colossus, 2 Disruptors, and really that is it. Yeah, and of course he's taking the 6 o'clock map as well. So he's up 2 bases on a Protoss player, and we look at resources last week. Reynor, he was trading pretty evenly. Now he's definitely not. It's 3-2 versus 2-1. The upgrades are just too damn good. Disruptor shot on the right side is actually going to be really nice. And the Zealots will all connect to this army, but there's just too much. Reynor types GG. And Byun takes a 1-0 lead. So Reynor did go pool first in game number 2. I guess making sure that he's not going to have to deal with any sort of proxy 2 reaction or something. And Byun is a player that loves to do that against Zerg, especially on shorter maps. He really does take a page from Maru in that way. But for now, it's just going to be Reactor Expand. Actually, Byun going pretty greedy here. No Reaper, Reactor Expand on the low ground. So these Lings actually may be able to do a decent amount. Well, there are going to be 2 Marines out by the time that happens. Second set on the way. So actually, maybe not. I'm not actually sure how this works out, just considering how short the rush distance is. But Lings now onto the other side of the map. They're getting rather close. And yeah, the Marines are not going to be out. Ooh, sorry about that. Lings are not going to be out by the time that the Marines are not going to be out by the time the Lings show up. So 2 Lings are going to look to chew away. Actually, 3 Lings looking to chew away at the SCV, as SCV is going to get pulled on the high ground because again, the Marines are not ready. So Natural is going to be delayed just a while. This is a nice opening from Reynor in this game, especially if he does not lose any Lings, and looks like he won't. Now the Marines, they cannot afford to move onto the low ground, right? Or they will struggle to move onto the low ground, I guess, because the Lings will. They're going to look for that surround, but it looks like as the second set of Marines show up, the Natural, well, it should get able to be able to be completed. But Reynor, third base on the way, speed as well. He's very happy about this game. He's delayed the Natural of Byun by about 30 seconds. And 30 seconds may not seem like a lot unless you consider that that is a solid 17% of game time. Now that is, and actually, maybe even more than that. Like that is... It's significant. So Byun, Natural completing right now. He's got a bunker on the high ground because he's very worried about the Roach follow-up coming in from Reynor here, but he's not. He's won the mind game twice over. He's just got drones and drones and drones and drones. Ling speed's going to be done at around that 4-minute time, which, as we've seen with the delayed Clash opener, or with the modified Clash opener, that's a great time to have speed finish. It times out rather nicely to when Hellions arrive, and well, when the Naturals is delayed like this, Hellions are just not going to arrive nearly as quickly. In fact, it's going to be a Cyclone. Byun is convinced that this is a Roach timing. He's convinced this is going to be like a 19 drone Roach Ravager, or even maybe a 30-something Roach Ravager, but there is no Roach Warren on the map. Nothing whatsoever. It's just drones and drones and drones and drones, as we've said. So Byun, by doing this, he's just put himself even further behind. Now, it does look like he wants to go for some sort of Hellion drop behind this. And that is a way to get back into the game, but I mean, I don't even know if that's going to work out all that well. We're going to be up to 7 queens pretty quickly, going up to 9 queens after that, I got to assume. The bunker now does get salvaged as Reynor realizes, or Byun realizes, you know, the timing's gone. This is not early pressure coming in from Reynor. I mean, how next level would it be if it was actually a 39, like a 42 drone Ling Roach timing, or Roach Ravager timing? So you move across the map like right as the bunker salvages, and it's like, ha, triple mind game, I win. But that's not what's happening. So Armory on the way behind this. So it's going to be Marine drop, and there will be Hellbats behind this one. So Byun, from a position where he was convinced that there were no roaches, or there were going to be roaches, is now going to put himself in a position now that he kind of realizes that there won't be, that he's going to be able to counter the lack of roaches rather well. So at least Byun is reading this map, or the game, fairly easily. This drop's not going to be able to find its way into the main base just yet. Overlord positioning is too good. So for now, it's going to be some creep removal. At least he's going to try, and he's going to catch a couple easy tumors. There we go. So they're going to go down. Gun picks up once again, and this is going to be, again, Stim Hellbats with the Cyclone giving the name of the game, and Bailey Nest is halfway done. It's not ready just yet for the hold. So Reynor, he's got a couple queens. He's got 8. Actually, not a lot of energy, though, as he really is pushing this creep spread forward. 18 Lings, but he's building drones here. Reynor's in a lot of trouble in this game. He's got 4 Hellbats. He's going to have a Cyclone. Stim is done in 8 seconds. He's morphing Banelings now, though. The Baneling Nest is done. It's only 5 Banes. And with Stim here, Byun can absolutely target that down. So Reynor's giving space up right now. He has to buy time. He has to hold off. Lings run forward. Banelings, they do connect on the Hellbats. That's going to be nice to start. Now it's going to force Byun back. Oh man, this was so scary for Reynor, but he makes it look easy. He holds off with tremendous aplomb. The medevac gets out, almost doesn't, but it does get out, so the 8 Marines escape, but the Hellbats, they're dead. The Cyclone is dead. And Byun, he goes back up to lick his wounds to find a different way to approach this game. +1 delayed. Combat shields slow. Third base, good luck. And this is just gonna be 5 racks all in beyond this. With +1 mech, I mean, I guess you get +1 mech attack because you say, okay, well, I already have the armory. I might as well. It's nice cancel there on the 4th. But even still, I mean, it's a 2-base setup here for Byun, as Reynor's going to scout that. I was going to say, okay, no command center. You know, that is really the big deal. They could be technically in the wall, but you send a couple links to scout, and you're going to be fine. Alien Nest, of course, halfway done. No Evo chambers here for Reynor. He understands that he sees the... Well, I guess he does have the Evo chamber, but he doesn't have the upgrades just yet. He sees this for what it is, as again, Byun's going to commit to this, and he's going to get a second cancel. That's starting to get a little problematic. Starting to get a little painful here for Reynor. But even still, I mean, it's a 2-base Terran. Reynor needs this more for the larva than he does need it for the actual economy. He's up on 73 drones. That may have overdroned a little bit, but I mean, he's Reynor. He's held off the first couple pushes. If this was a standard game against a 2-base solid, yeah, it would be an overdrone, but considering the first couple options of Byun either got nothing done, Byun tried to be greedy, he was delayed, and then his Hellbat timing was slapped aside. Well, I mean, it did. Byun is not... This is not a normal game. Reynor absolutely had the time to get himself up to 70 workers. Now Ling run by as well is going to find a bunch of this reinforcements. And now Byun has to run home. Or at the very least, he's kind of stuck in the middle of the map right now, but he says, okay, I'm going to run forward anyways. Let me knock some of this creep spread down. And he's just waffling. He says, I don't know. Now, this is a scary spot for Reynor to attack into. With 3 tanks right here, as one shot will go off. It's a big choke. It's hard for the Lings to get on top of these tanks. But the longer this goes, the closer Reynor gets to his 1-1. The more banelings he gets. Baneling speed is, of course, done. And Reynor's just looking for a timing to pull the trigger. Again, another good spot here for Byun to take the fight, as the chokes are there. Now Byun, he's leapfrogging so slowly forward, as again, we got this big run by. I think Reynor's just going to bust down the natural. He says, yeah, Byun, you're all in, but let me help you back. Let me help you a little bit here, bud. Let me make you even more all in. Baneling probably should kill this, but... it's just going to be a bunch of Lings are going to kill it off instead. And there we go. Now the supply depots are down, and Natural is well and truly broken. STVs are in the main base, so they're not really going down, but I'm not sure how much it matters. Because Byun's not mining at the Natural. And Reynor continues to max out more and more. 1-1 done in 10 seconds. This is the timing that Reynor has been buying the last 45 seconds of. It says, yeah, you know, Byun, shove forward. That's fine. See if I care. I mean, look at this surround he's got coming in from a full 360. Lings, Banes, north, south, east, and west, trying to get on top of these tanks. Actually getting some really good shots to start here, but it's just never going to be enough. There is Reynor's supply is too damn good. His upgrades are too good. In fact, he's up an upgrade, right? Armor versus no armor. And yeah, Byun puts some pressure on the 5th base of Reynor, but it doesn't even matter. I don't think so. But here comes the next level of push. Now this time, very few tanks. Only 1 on the map, second one on the way. I mean, this drop is trying to do something, but Reynor's going to set himself up a big surround once again. A bunch of Lings and Banes north side. He says, well, okay, well, Byun, do you have a wall? Is there anything that is going to stop my aggression? The answer is no, by the way. Lings are going to get a surround. Like, these Lings can fight these Marines. They're going to get a surround on top of everything. Tank gets saved at the very least. But now, Lings, Banes come rolling into the natural. Now, there's a tank and good target fire on these Banes. Means it's actually not going to be quite as good as Reynor would like, but still, Baneling's in the mineral line. 15 workers go down, a bunch of Marines as well, and also supply depots. Byun would really hate that if he had supply to lose, but he is not supply capped because his supply is hanging right around that 100 supply mark. 2-2 on the way here for Reynor. He is solidly on 5 bases. Only 73 drones, but Byun has 32, so you're okay. Man, what a difference game 1 to game 2. Game 1 was the game where Reynor got ripped apart. Game 2, you know, this Reynor kid, he's pretty promising. He's pretty good at this Zerg thing. He should maybe consider making that his primary race. I mean, I know Protoss is easy and all, but seems like he's got some promise. If you give him a little bit of time, it seems like he definitely could contend for a world championship with Zerg. But on the bottom side of the map here, a drop's going to get found out. Queens and Spores say no. In fact, that Spore's going to kill the medevac. Unfortunate as Byun pushes north side, but before there's any sort of siege up here, Lings and Banes, they come rolling on forward. Tanks, they're just dead. Reynor even commits Banelings to it. I don't really care. Yeah. Reynor has it up 1-1. And remember, I mean, Byun, he kind of got smashed that game, but really that was a game decided by the fact that Reynor went pool first and delayed Byun's greedy reactor expand. And then Byun went for a Hellbat stim timing that also did not work. And from that point, I mean, Reynor could do whatever the hell he wanted. Remember, Byun did 3-2 Dark last week, 2 weeks ago. And Dark was of course the slayer of Maru, so by transitive property, Byun is better than Maru in TVZ. And by transitive property, Byun is better than Reynor in TVZ because Maru beat Reynor. And that doesn't not matter at all, of course. That's not how this works. But. Byun's TVZ is extremely good. When he's on, he's very much on. But I'd be lying if I was saying I wasn't kind of rooting for, by the way, double gas opening. So Byun, he's going to go a little tech heavier here. I'd be lying if I wasn't saying I was rooting for Reynor just a little bit in this setup because I would very much like to see a best of 5 of Reynor and Solar PVZ. That sounds like a lot of fun. For now, we're just gonna have to see where Byun does go for this. This is not the TVT-esque opening where you go barracks, double gas factory. No, it's barracks, command center, double gas. So still open yourself up for more aggression, more tech. So most likely like a Hellion Banshee idea. But again, you do want to make sure your command center is faster. TVZ is probably the greediest early game matchup. Maybe TVP holds a candle, or a PVZ, excuse me, holds a candle to that. But really, it's those Zerg matchups because it's both players racing to get their economy as ready as early as possible so they can move into the mid game and start putting pressure on back and forth. And of course, Reynor. I mean, we're not going to see too much tech difference unless he goes for a roach timing or something, which I don't really think we're going to see. Not on day to see. We're not going to see much tech differentiation from him, right? It is for him. It is very much a race to. I got to go to 3 base mineral saturation, then I'm going to get my gas, I'm going to get my lair, I'm going to go to 4 and 5 bases, and then we get to see, is it pure Ling Bane? Does he go Ling Bane Hydra? Does he go Ling Bane Muta maybe? Data C is actually not that bad of a map for that. The rush distance is long enough that you can kind of get away with it, and there's enough dead air space that you can certainly find the value. So really, we're paying attention to more than anything else is Byun's production tab, what Byun has going for him, and it looks like it will be Hellion Banshee. Okay. There we go. Banshee on the way. Cloak as well. We've actually started to see Maru in particular mess around more and more with Hellion Reaper. Or with, Hellion Raven. But Hellions find their way into the natural. And Queens are all that Reynor has defensively. Hellions, good lineup there. 3 workers go down. There are a couple more that are rather vulnerable, but the Queens wall things off. Still, though, 4 drones going down early it's a good punish there. Reynor really skimping on his Ling count. He only has 6. He only got the initial 6. He had them elsewhere. So, that being said, good scout there from Reynor. He's going to see that, yes, there is Cloak on the way. So he knows this is Hellion Banshee. Knows, well, in this case, he's just going to drop he's going to drop a lair. That's going to be his detection. But there are a lot of drones in the natural. Now, they will heal up a little bit. They should be able to heal themselves up past the point. And we're starting to see them going to yellow right now where the Banshee does not one-shot them. But if that was an immediate Banshee follow-up, that would be a lot of dead drones. Of course, Banshee's 2-shot drones. If you get them down to 50% HP, math says you one-shot drones. Very simple. So Reynor should be prepared for this. He's on 6 Queen. We're going to see him probably go up to 9 soon enough, but he has cut Queen production just a little bit because, again, he did lose, 4 or 5 workers. He did lose 4 drones. He does have to get a rather quick layer to make sure he defends the Banshee play. So, again, his Queen count is not as aggressive as sometimes. I mean, some games we'll see him delay layer for forever, go up to 9 Queens before he builds the layer, and then it's like, well, yeah, sure, Banley speed's a little slower, but you have such insane creep spread that it doesn't really matter. Bailey Nest finishing up as well. So if this was some sort of weird Halbat timing, I mean, he'd be able to handle that one. But it looks like Byun, again, he's going for a 2-base idea. Reynor's 4th base, of course, halfway done. But we're looking at very much a 3-1-1 setup. But no, 5-1-1. Yeah, there we go. There's the 4th and 5th barracks. Reynor has to identify this. I don't know that he has just yet. He's drawn himself up. I can't imagine he goes above like 69, 70. I feel like if he goes above 70, it's going to be a real big problem. Because, okay, combat shields, halfway done. Well, quarter of the way done. +1 halfway done. This is going to hit right around... Actually, do we have stim? Yeah, we do. So this is going to hit in like 45 seconds. Byun moving out on the map right now, and Reynor, he's got his double upgrades. He's droning up super hard. He's on 74 workers. Reynor's in trouble. He's committed to this really hard idea of this just being Hellion Banshee, which is, of course, a macro opener. It's a greedy opener. Reynor has not seen any of this. I worry that we saw Crater do this to Reynor in Korea, where he kind of pantomimed a macro build and he hit with a Twilight list, just big timing. And here we go once again. Tons of Marines. No Banelings are morphed here. Stim is done. Combat shields +1, not done just yet. Reynor's just gonna have to give the space up. Yeah, he's notice how efficient he's being. He says, okay, they're actually no, never mind. Those drones were just not getting pulled. But a couple drones, he said, oh yeah, you got 5 minerals in the patch. I want to make sure that I get that. I want to maximize my mining out of the space before I have to give it up. It looks like one drone will go down. But this is a terrifying pushing position from Byun. With the tanks behind this, there was not a world where Reynor really was going to be able to keep this alive. So I do like the decision. He says, look, I'll give it up. That's fine. I'm not really going to suffer too much for it. I'm going to lose my 4th base, but this is a 2-base Terran, so it's really not the biggest of deals. And now Banelings are on the way. Baneling speed is done. How many Banelings do we have? We have 19. So we're going to have to go up to 28 Banes. That is a lot better to defend this one. And we're just seeing Reynor do or attempt to do what he did in that last game, where he says, Byun, you don't get to really be active on the map. Every time you rally across, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to knock down your reinforcements. But Byun, extremely conscientious with his rallies. He's not sending them out in one long, thin line of a raid push. No, he says, I'm going to send like 30 supply across the map at once. And you're going to really struggle to deal with that with the amount of lings that you want to commit. But Reynor's setting up a bit of a surround here. Only 2 sides for the moment. Okay, so they're going to siege up. And Reynor, his 1-1 done in about 13 seconds. That's when he's going to look to pull the trigger. 3 tanks, though, are a scary force indeed, as now Byun stims forward. He's not going to get a queen, because, of course, transfuses are rather good. 9 more Banelings on the way, going to about 40 Banes. Reynor, he's going to go for his banger bust hold here on what used to be his 4th base. Queen's now fighting strong. Great transfuses there. 1-1 is now done. Reynor just waiting for a little more, I guess. But here we go. Now he's going to pull the trigger. Coming in from every side. Looks a little disjointed, though. The left side hits, then the right side does good target fire there on the Banelings. Tanks are doing such a great job with the Banelings. They connect anyways. North side. Byun Micro just a little bit lacking, but Reynor does not clean it all up. And that's what you got to do here with this setup. That was 40 Banes. Reynor wanted to clean it up in its entirety. Did not quite do so. And now it's 73 army supply to 28. As good as that potentially looked, that was only because a significant amount of Byun's army was on the other side of the map. He did not, and most importantly, Reynor did not get all the tanks. So with Liberator tanks sieged up here, Reynor he's in trouble. He did not, I worry that he just did not identify this all-in coming fast enough. And now, while the all-in has been happening for a while now, right? It's 9 minutes in. Reynor's been on he's been on his heels, has been on the back foot the entire time. He's never been truly happy from a macro perspective. He's on 10 queens. He's going up to 14. Where we Larva at, though, is Larva is just, he's kind of Larva starved, right? Because the queens have had to be so far forward. They haven't really been able to transfuse as well as they would like. But 4 more queens are on the way. Byun moving forward once again, trying to put pressure on this 3rd base position, where we'll see a medevac go down there. Nice target fire there from Reynor. And it's only 3 tanks, right? It could be a lot more because, well, 2 of the tanks did go down. Reynor, he says, okay, I got 12 Banelings on the way. He doesn't really have nearly as good of a surround as he did previously, so Byun, he can get even closer. As the Queen's starting to run out of energy here a little bit, Byun identifies the stims on top of it, forces Reynor to take a fight as the Queen does fall. A couple of drones die as well. Gas mining is, well, will be denied here, so that's going to be dead gas. Reynor's not really hurting for gas for the moment. His Baneling connection is not really going to be all that great. Byun hot pickup micro. And all those Banelings are on the right side. Reynor was trying to set up for a surround, but there's vision right there. So now the tanks, or now, excuse me, the Queens run forward. One Liberator will fall. 2nd one going down here as well. Banelings come rolling, but they're kind of trapped behind the Queens. Tanks targeting them all down. And Byun has everything he needs. It's a 50 army supply lead here. Queens now running out of anything, but the Baneling, the Burrow Banes on the left side, they knock down so many of the Marines. They buy Byun, or they buy Reynor time. But even still, it is 89 army supply to 45. Again, Reynor's on 67 drones to the 48 of Byun. Byun is only on 2 bases. If Reynor can sandbag this long enough, he's going to be happy, as now the Queens run forward. Liberators are starting to fall here just a little bit. Once the Liberators go down, the tanks are much more vulnerable. Tank will die here as well to the Queens. Not something you see every day. But the the Banelings, again, we're just lacking them. They're not able to get on top of things as well as they would like. There's just not enough creep here. And Queens now, they're continuing to fall. Not enough energy on the court of Reynor here. As the Queens, it's Regicide. Banelings now, they run forward, though. There's just not enough here. Reynor, does he have another hold in him? Does he have another attempt? Every time Reynor tries to break out, Byun gets closer to the core bases of Reynor. Bailey's looking to make their good connections, and they're going to get decent ones, but again, the supply is so damn good. Another tank, though, a little bit too far forward. Bailey's, they burrow once again. Reynor, Byun sees it this time. Reynor does not hold on. It's going to be Byun versus Solar in the finals.